everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Julie from Living Large on Lifetime. Today I am doing my last installment of Weight Watchers on a Budget challenge. This is the collaboration that I am doing with Molly from Weight Watchers Wifey, Jess from Weight Watchers Journey to Healthy, and Kelly from Freedom in a Budget. I will have all of their channels linked down below, so please go and visit their channels and see how they're doing with their challenges as well. So today I am doing dessert or snack for $2 or less. So I generally don't eat a lot of dessert. I don't really have as much of a sweet tooth anymore. I eat a lot of fruit instead. So, but I decided to challenge myself. I'm gonna go out of the box a little bit, and I am going to make a dessert for $2 or less. So today I am making individual servings of bread pudding. So essentially bread pudding in a mug, and yes, we are going to microwave it. It's Smart Points friendly and also comes in under budget, under my $2 allotment. So stay tuned. I'm gonna do a cook with me so I can show you how it's made. I'll let you know the points as we go along. At the end of the video, I will show you the budget breakdown so you can see what the final cost is per serving. So the bread pudding starts with, obviously, bread. I'm using this Sara Lee Delightful 45 calorie bread. It is 1 Smart Point per slice. And for this recipe, we're using 2 slices. So I'm using 2 Smart Points right now. Okay, I've diced my bread, and now I'm going to place it in a storage jar. I'm using, for this recipe, I will be using 2 storage jars, and that is because I'm pre-prepping this bread pudding to take to work this week for a snack slash dessert. So I'm pre-prepping. I'll show you how that's done, and then the day I actually eat the bread pudding, I'll let you know how that works as well. So for right now, I'm going to use the bread, and I'm going to put all the bread. I'm going to put the bread and the dry ingredients in the large jar. When I get ready to do it at work, the wet ingredients will be in the small jar, and I will combine it into the large jar. So, okay, next I'm going to dice this very small nectarine to add to the jar. You could actually use probably any fruit that you want with your bread pudding, or no fruit at all. I want to use fruit because I want to bulk it up so that I have, you know, as much as possible. Fruit is, of course, 0 Smart Points. So I was initially going to use 1/4 of an apple. I always have apples on hand. But I wasn't sure what to do with the rest of the apple, and then I saw that we have these cute tiny little nectarines, and this is about exactly the amount of fruit that I want in the bread pudding. Just a little bit of fruit for added flavor and added volume, so I don't need a lot. So I thought this would be a good change from apples, which I use all the time. So I'm going to dice up this nectarine and add it to the jar with bread. There's my diced nectarines in with the diced bread. And the last thing we're going to add to the dry ingredients is raisins. So 1 tablespoon of raisins is 1 Smart Point. If you want to be more technical, or maybe try to get a few more raisins, you should probably actually weigh these out, but I'm okay usually with just doing a tablespoon of raisins for 1 Smart Point. So here's my tablespoon here. We're just going to add it on the top, and that's it for our dry ingredients. Okay, so now we're going to start adding our liquid ingredients to this smaller jar here. So I'm starting with 1/4 cup of these Great Value liquid egg whites. 1/4 cup is 0 Smart Points. And then we'll also do 1/4 cup of Silk cashew milk, which is also 0 points. You can also use almond milk, which I actually usually have on hand, but I'm just trying to use up the last of this cashew milk. So 1/4 cup of each is 0 Smart Points. I'm adding 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Most people would add 1 teaspoon, but I love the flavor of cinnamon, and I think the more the better. So I'm adding 2 teaspoons of cinnamon to the wet mixture here. At this point, you would also want to add 1 teaspoon or 2 of vanilla extract or vanilla flavoring. I just moved, so I just realized I don't have any. So normally you would also add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm adding 2 teaspoons of cinnamon powder. Okay, and the last 2 ingredients we're adding to this mixture is 1 tablespoon of fat-free cream cheese for 0 Smart Points. I've already got the tablespoon of cream cheese in there, and then we're also doing 1 tablespoon of fat-free sour cream, which is also 0 Smart Points. So 1 tablespoon of sour cream. Now I'm going to mix that all up and we should almost be ready to go. Okay, so there are my wet ingredients ready to go. The cinnamon will always float on top because cinnamon does not stir into liquid very well. So I'm actually going to put lids on both of these jars, and these are set to go to work. Once I get to work and I'm ready to have the bread pudding, what I'll do first is pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. These are the dry ingredients with all the breadcrumbs on the bottom. So pour your wet into the dry and let it sit for 10 minutes. At that point, the breadcrumbs should have absorbed most of the liquid. Once that's done, you'll want to stir it up a little bit and then microwave for 2 minutes. After it's microwaved, you probably will want to let it sit for about 30 seconds if you can wait that long. 30 seconds to 1 minute, and it should set up nice and firm. And then the last thing you're going to want to do is add this syrup on top. This is the Walden Farms pancake syrup. It is 0 smart points. So just drizzle this on top and then you're good to go. So I will show you guys this at work once I heat it and prep it and I'm ready to eat it. Anyway, let me tell you guys about that bread pudding. It was okay. Number one, next time I would leave out the cream cheese because it didn't stir in so well. Number two, I would probably use a little less liquid. And number three, I would cook it longer than the 2 minutes that I did. It started to like bubble up a lot, so I pulled it out. But honestly, I think bread pudding is something that is probably better baked in the oven. So I don't know if I'll try that recipe again, but there you have it. There's my review.